He likes to go out and goop around in the Everglades, John, and he loves to pull. He likes to win. He doesn't like to finish in second or third place. That's his goal this afternoon, is to win. Chris Holdorf, Florida Cracker. Well, he really did a big wheelie out there as he drifted to the left-hand side, and he's going to turn that run down. We saw him mention to the track officials he doesn't like it, and he's going to drop 6 positions.
The Florida Cracker from Gator Country. That's what he calls his truck. Here it is on the replay. He did get off the ground around the 100-foot mark, and then we'll see him really pop the front end up a little bit later. There it goes, way up in the air.
He's really losing a lot of drawbar back there, and then she bounces up and down a couple times. He likes to lift that front end, but only about 3 feet off the ground rather than 5 feet.
And he signaled right away to the NTPA officials that he's going to drop 6 positions and come back later. He's not going to take that pull.
211 feet, 1.9 inches. John, let's store that in our memory here. But he's turning the run down, so he'll drop 6 positions in this class and come back a little bit later on. And only the test puller has the option to do that. He can either come back and run right away, or he can drop 6.
We're going to look at one forward. Remember, the forwards have one.
Here comes the next competitor in the 2-wheel drive class, driving the Bad Dog, Dwayne Stowe from Warrenton, Georgia.
Well, Dwayne is forward all the way. It has been really coming on strong in 1985, and as we move into the 1986 season with a 68 Ford, Dwayne Stowe from Warrenton, Georgia, he has shut it down. I don't know if he has a problem with the engine.
Dwayne Stowe now ready to pull it away. He's from Warrenton, Georgia, the one of 2 Fords in the class, the other belonging to Chris Holdorf.
Well, the Fords come right out number 1 and 2 here. They have not made a decision on the sled as of yet if we're in the right gear or not, but we're going to watch one more. Here we go, Bad Dog from Warrenton, Georgia. And boy, I thought he may have broken the front end. He came down awfully hard out there.
He was drifting towards the left sideline. We'll look for the signal of whether or not the officials are going to go with the sled at this setting and what Dwayne Stowe wants to do.
I saw him look over at his brother. He's happy with that run.
It was a good, solid run. He did cut the engine out right here at the end as he got close to the sideline, perhaps worried about going out of bounds. We'll see it here on the replay. Comes away from the line slowly and smoothly. Then the front end will pop up. Here's the distance. 208. 1.
Well, John, he was angling for the corner, and when they do that, they start drifting, and there's a point where they don't want to bring it around too far, so they head for the corner.
So Dwayne Stowe takes a 208 1.1. Jeff Brockman now from New Haven, Indiana, in a unique truck in the class. It's the only international truck in this 2-wheel drive class in session 3. Brockman, the second official puller in the class. He's away from the starting line. And a very strong pull for Jeff Brockman. Got the front end well up into the air around the 150-foot mark. And it's going to do well. It'll put him up near the lead.
Well, Jeff Brockman, the son of Jim and Cheryl Brockman from New Haven, Indiana, up near the Fort Wayne area with his international panel van. This was a 1949 International running a Rodeck aluminum block motor. Good straight run. Now it begins to lift. He really lifts higher than I think they wanted to go, but in the 2-wheel drive class, this seems to be a way of doing things. Get that front end up, and he takes the lead at 214 feet and 7/10 of an inch. About 6 feet ahead of Dwayne Stowe from Georgia.
And the first Chevrolet in the 2-wheel drive class in session 3, Richard McPherson from Circleville, Ohio.
Dick's a farmer, farms about 1,000 acres of corn and soybeans and wheat just south of the Buckeye capital of Columbus. Dick's been pulling for many years, originally with a single-engine modified dragster tractor. Then he went to a twin, but in the last couple of years, he's come out with this 1983 Chevrolet pickup truck with a supercharged alcohol burner under the hood. Now, he's definitely one to be reckoned with here this afternoon. The distance to beat, 2:14. 11-10. Here he goes. Nick McPherson. John, anytime we see this many wheelies out here this afternoon, we know they're getting a tremendous bite. The higher those front ends come up, the more bite they're getting. They want to get as much weight out there in the front to hold it down, and they don't have the weight to play with. A good pull for Dick. He's going to be past the 200-foot mark by just a couple of feet, but he's going to be shy of our leader, Jeff Brockman.
He got on it hard and early. The tires had a lot of speed very early in the pull, and there he's way up in the air. He'll come down and pop up again. There you see it, and so like you say, getting a lot of bite in the track and pulling the front end of that truck up.
But he's losing drawbar at the rear of the truck, and his distance only 203 feet and 4 inches.
Dave, we've got an unusual machine getting set to pull here. Tell us about this one.
Leo Kay from Bradford, Pennsylvania is in the oil business. That's why they call it the Driller. It's a 1986 Corvette body. A year ago, he ran an 84 Chevrolet pickup truck, and this year he's gone to the Corvette body. You can see he's inside. This would be very similar to a funny car in like Top Fuel or Alcohol Funny Car in drag racing. He's running maybe the biggest motor of the class, nearly 600 cubic inch Aries aluminum block motor, and he is the Grand National Champion in this class. He edged out Chris Holdorf by just a couple of points in the 1985 NTPA point system. The distance to beat, Jeff Brockman's in the lead at 2:14. Let's see now if Leo Kay can beat it with his brand new funny car Corvette. No, he gets way up in the air. You can see the engine is setting way out in the front. He did not have a good balance of the car or the truck, however you want to call it out there, because the undercarriage of the Driller is certainly beefed up. But he misses the weight badly, and that's going to cost him severely here this afternoon. Let's see if we can catch it on the replay, because all of a sudden that front end really came up. Missing the weight. There it goes, and that's just too high. You can't have it 5 feet off the ground. And now he lets it down. You can see that. I think that left front wheel might have bent just a little bit out there. Possibly both of the front tires and wheels bent a little bit.
And it comes in as a 139 5.0, a very disappointing run for Leo Kay.
Well, it's interesting to note that he came here to the Indy Super Bowl to begin '86 with a brand new rig, thinking that last year he was so successful with an '84 Chevy. I would have thought that maybe he would have stuck with that and then made the changes here in the next month.
Next up is Danby Burak.
Danby Burak driving for Jim Brockman Championship Pulling out of Decatur, Indiana. This is the sister truck with Jeff Brockman still in the lead with the International panel van. This is the 41 Dodge panel van, and this is one of the top professional teams in the country. Jeff Brockman, Danby Burak, and of course Jim Brockman is the owner of the two trucks and the chief operator. These guys are professional pullers and are out looking for sponsorship. See what he does with the jump off the line. He's a little heavy on the nose. Now he lifts. Look at this. Look at this. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, my word. He is going to be shy of 200 feet, but he might have tied or taken the lead with that run. Danby Burak. And the way he was gone, the way the front end was picking up, I would have thought that he'd have been down at around 215 feet, John.
He had a very smooth run going. He got the front end up just where he wants it. Here we see it on the replay. Not too high and kept it where he wanted it, but it seemed like he died out suddenly here right in front of us.
Well, he also is running a new motor, and this is an Aries engine, and it looks like he ran out of fuel right there at the end of his run. 197, 1.7 for Danby Burak, driving for Jim Brockman Championship Pulling.
After turning down his test pole, Chris Holdorf is now coming back.
And the distance, of course, that he made originally was 211 feet, 1.9 inches. He thinks that he can better that original distance, and he was the test puller and has this option to drop 6. Your leader is still Jeff Brockman at 2:14. Currently in second place is Dwayne Stowe at 2:08. And in third right now is Dick McPherson at 2:03. So Holdorf, a lot riding on this run right here. The runner-up of the Grand National Circuit in 1985. Here comes the Florida Cracker. Oh, boy. It looks good. It looks good. Oh, boy. What a run. Right down left-hand side of the track. It's going to be close. I believe, John, that he had beat Jeff Brockman.
It looks like it from here. We'll wait for the official notice. A very smooth run. Got the front end up, picked it up, and kept it right where he wanted it. Did a nice job of transferring the weight back.
And John, those front tires are only about 5 inches away from the out-of-bounds marker. Here it comes. Now the front end begins to pick up. A much smoother run this time. And he knew that this was going to be an awfully good pull this afternoon.
And here it is, 219. 3.2, 219.3.2, and so he takes the lead, Chris Holdorf.
And he now moves ahead of Jeff Brockman by over 5 feet in the 5,800-pound two-wheel drive trucks. 3 to go. It'll be Lloyd Hauser, Wayne Roush, and Mark Miller.
The excitement builds as Chris Holdorf comes out and sets a new pace for the lead, and now Lloyd Hauser is getting hooked up.
We've got 3 excellent trucks yet to run in this class. Lloyd Hauser from Maiden, North Carolina with a 1984 Chevrolet Rat engine, plenty of cubic inches. He's a professional puller, has been around a long time. He knows how to read a track. He'll be followed by Wayne Roush from Ohio, and Mark Miller will be our final puller in the class from Virginia. Here we go, only 3 to run. The distance to beat, Chris Holdorf in the lead at 219 feet, 3.2 inches.
Taking a little bit of time now, he pulls away from the starting line.
He waits a while before he gets on it. Oh boy, look at it. All right, now John, I would say right now that he has almost flipped the distance between Holdorf and Brockman, but it's really going to be close now for second place. Super Rat. And Lloyd did not have a particularly good 1985, but that was a great run.
That was a good pull, and I think he's happy with it.
He is happy. He looks over at Holdorf, and he waves his hand. Holdorf is happy because he's still in the lead, and Hauser's happy because he's come close to second place.
Didn't get the front end up very high, but a very straight run. He just angled a little bit to the left side of the track. Here it is, 217.4.7. 217.4.7.
Only 2 feet off the lead of Chris Holdorf. An excellent run. He does split the distances between Brockman and Holdorf, and Lloyd Hauser moves into second place. A happy guy.
Wayne Roush will be driving the second and final Dodge machine in this class.
Well, we've had a pretty good mix of equipment here in this show. We've had a couple of Fords, International panel truck, a couple of Chevrolets, a couple of Dodges. So it's been a good mix. Also a 1986 Corvette. Wayne Roush from just down the road of the Jack Nicklaus Memorial Golf Tournament in Dublin, Ohio, on the northwest corner of Columbus, with a 1982 Dodge, a former Grand National Circuit champion in the NTPA, the little red truck, and he is running a 500 and cubic inch Keith Black Racing Hemi. Now, one of the requirements is that they must pull up to a tight hitch. The chain must be tight between the transfer and the tractor or the truck that is pulling the sled, and that's exactly what he does right there. You see the green light is on the sled now, signaling that the transfer is ready to go. He gets the green flag from the starting flagman, Russell Mount of the NTPA. Here we go. Wayne Roush, the little red truck. Oh, boy! Are we in for excitement late in this class?
A terrific run for Wayne Roush. The front end came up right around 100 feet and stayed up right where he wanted it. Pulled it out, not a full pull, but out near, 220 feet, we'll say, on the guess.
This has been a dogfight as we watch the replay. Wow, Wayne Roush making a great pull as the front end comes up. Now, he carries the front end very nicely. No bouncing up and down. He's got plenty of power. He's really locked into the track. Look at that. Just a foot off the lead, 218 feet, 10.1 inches, 1 foot behind Chris Holdorf, and he moves now ahead of Lloyd Hauser, and only 2 feet separating the top 3 trucks in session 3 in the two-wheel drives.
Mark Miller is the last competitor in the class, and the leader is still Chris Holdorf at 2:19.3.2.
Mark Miller was the hottest two-wheel drive truck puller in the early part of 1985. Only 18 years old, certainly our youngest competitor. Well, he and Jeff Brockman, they may be the same age. Out of Richmond, Virginia, 1985 Chevrolet Mini Brute. Now, we just talked to Holdorf here at trackside. He's worried about this guy. He says if he runs the right side, the wet side, he says, I don't think he can catch me. But if he runs the left side, which is the dry side, track is dried out slightly, he could do it. Mark Miller, last truck, here we go. Oh boy, at the last run, I believe Miller has done it. Holdorf is upset with himself. Oh boy, folks, this has been a whale of a two-wheel drive class.
What a finish. The front end came up after past the 100-foot mark, between 100 and 150 feet. A little bit up and down motion in the run, but a very, very strong pull for Mark Miller.
Oh, Holdorf is on pins and needles. He was really worried. He was wiping his brow.
And there it is, 222 feet, 4.1 inches. Your winner, Mark Miller.
And he goes by Chris Holdorf by 3 feet. 222, 4.1. Holdorf will finish second at 219.3.2. Third place will go to Wayne Roush at 218.10.1. And fourth place will go to Lloyd Hauser at 217.4.7. What a finish.
That's a great finish, and we'll hear from Mark Miller.
Well, I said earlier today that he was 18 years old. He's up to 20 right now, and our youngest puller here this afternoon in the two-wheel drives. He won it, Mark Miller, out of Richmond, Virginia. This has got to be maybe the highest point of your career.
Yes, this, and back in December when the pullers voted me two-wheel drive puller of the year. That feels good.
Well, certainly you were on pins and needles running as the last truck in the class. You had seen Holdorf's distance. He was feeling pretty good, but he said if Mark runs on the wet side of the track, he says, I think I can win it. If he runs on the dry side, he says he's got a shot to beat me, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to see a whole lot on pool. We're back here getting weighed up, and I just come out here, put it over from where a little red truck had it at. And
now, early in 1985, you were certainly the top puller in the class of the field in two-wheel drive truck pulling. Then late in 1985, you ran into some dry spells. Did you think that you had a chance for a win here today?
Not really. I kind of lost some of my confidence. I put a little bit bigger supercharger on, and I think that's helped me a little bit.
Well, today has got to build your confidence back up.
Yeah, it does.
Congratulations, Mark Miller.
Thank you.